Why is it so flippin' hard to find some PS5 games? I've been game hunting for 20 years, and I remember not that long ago, any new game you could just walk into almost any store and find. They weren't that difficult to locate. It was the old stuff, the retro stuff, that was difficult to add to your collection. But time after time, I look for a freaking PS5 game, and I can't find it. It's not on eBay, it's not on Mercari, it's not in the stores. I can't locate it anywhere. I've developed a pretty good track record and a bit of a reputation for being able to predict what games are going to be hard to find later. Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly, and here are 7 future PS5 Holy Grails. Now, some of these games you can get online right now, but there may only be 1 or 2 copies up for sale at the moment. Some of them I haven't seen since they came out, but all of them feel like the sort of game that 20 years from now, you're going to see people fawning over at conventions and fighting over online. There are a lot of games that people can get addicted over playing, and these days, that tends to fall into the roguelite genre. Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, Faster Than Light. People put thousands of hours into these games, and the games like worm their way into their soul almost. So it's obvious that people will gain a huge fondness for it. What if you made a roguelite that was story-based, subverted your expectations, and basically became an internet meme that blew everybody's mind out of the water? And oh yeah, it was a special limited physical release. It's Inscryption. I watched about 5 different streamers play through this game when it came out, and every one of them had their minds blown by it. They played hours a day, every day for weeks, till they finished the game. And then I saw clip after clip after clip of highlight reels and reaction videos of people reacting to this game. It has fantastic mechanics, has a great story. It changes up the gameplay, and the game itself goes through several different styles. There's conspiracy theories behind it. There are hidden files in the game you can find, and there's an underarching story that reveals that the game's not exactly what you thought it was. Essentially just a recipe for a game that people are going to want to go back and explore, especially when it starts popping up on top 10 lists years down the road. I had to order my copy of this game from Special Reserve Games, which isn't putting out physical games anymore. It's been taken over by Devolver, but this was in that last batch that they ever released. So if you haven't played Inscryption, go play it right now, after finishing this video, of course. And if you're looking for a physical copy of it, don't wait. It's only going to get harder to find. If there's one style of game you can count on appreciating over time and being highly sought after, it's survival horror. It has always been that way. All the way back on the PlayStation 1, people could not stop collecting survival horror games. People love them. I love them. You love them. And there are survival horror games coming out all the time that the general public doesn't know about. And this is one of them. It's the Chant. I have a spreadsheet of all the games that are coming out that I even have a slight interest in. When they come out, I look at all the reviews, I check them over, I decide if it's something I really want to get. Do I want to go get it right now? Do I want to wait a little while? I watch every freaking YouTube pickup video I see for game collecting and make a list of all the games on that look slightly interesting to me. I'm on top of my game. So it was a shock to me when I walked into a freaking GameStop and I saw this game sitting on the shelf, and I had never seen it nor heard of it before. And to this day, I haven't seen it mentioned in any pickups videos, no hidden gems videos, and those are everywhere. This is kind of one of them right now. You play as a woman trapped in a crazy cult, and I guess you're trying to escape. I don't know how this slipped under the radar, but it has pretty decent reviews. I have not seen it anywhere, not one other copy other than the one I bought that one time I saw it in a GameStop. If you've played the Chant and it's any good, let me know in the comments down below. If you picked up a copy of it, let me know where you found it. There are tons of games that come out that are quote unquote indie darlings, right? Celeste, Super Meat Boy, The Stanley Parable, these great low-budget games that rise above what you would expect for a small game from a small developer. but occasionally they blow up. Maybe there's something about them that speaks to someone. Maybe there's something totally unique about them that no one's ever explored before. Maybe it's a game that has just withstood the test of time, or you think it will. All of those things encompass Unpacking. This is just a puzzle game where you're moving furniture around from one location to another location, and it takes place over the life of a woman. Now, you never see the woman, as far as I know. You're just helping her unpack. But from that, you can extrapolate an incredible story. You help her unpack when she moves houses when she's younger. Her family moved. You help her move in with her first boyfriend. You have to find places for her stuff around his stuff. And then you have to help her find places to put it when she moves into her own apartment after they break up. Now, none of this is explicitly said. You have to figure it out from context clues. And I know there are tons of people out there that were touched by this game. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it. I've only heard amazing things. I've also never seen any other person that has a copy of this game other than me. I know it went up for sale. It was put out by Humble Games and released by Limited Run. But for a game that got so much fanfare from the critics, it didn't get much fanfare on its release. So I feel like this one is going to continue to touch the hearts and minds of people for years to come, but there just aren't any more copies of the game. And I know that we're moving to a more digital future, but there's still a bastion of young people out there that are rallying against that, and they love physical media. Because their whole life they've never gotten to own anything. And once they get something in their hand that's theirs, well, they get the same fever we've got. You got to grab that stuff. Grab this one if you can. If you can't, at least download it and play it. The game deserves it. The two most hardcore gaming groups I know of, the people that call me out all the time for every little mistake I made, or tell me I don't understand something, or that I got something wrong, almost always come from the same two groups. What are those two groups? The shoot 'em up community, rightly so. But the other group, you never expect it. The visual novel group. I've reviewed several visual novels on this channel, and every single time I do, the comments are full of people telling me what a flipping idiot I am. Without fail, without fail. So what if I told you there's a game that combines both of those genres? It's a shoot 'em up and it's a visual novel. How does that work? I don't know. I haven't played it. I'm afraid to do a review of it. Imagine the hellacious fallout that'll come from that. But it's Yuru Kill. Nippon Ichi Software published this game. They have a track record of putting out games that end up being hard to find later. They also have a track record of re-releasing their crap to the point where you can find it in the bargain bin. So who knows? But this one, I don't think enough people played it for there to be a big enough community for it to get a re-release. How does this work? I don't really even flippin' know. I guess you just read stuff. It's a visual novel. You read with your eyes and the words go into your mind. And maybe there's some animation, or maybe there's not. Maybe it's just static images on the screen. And then apparently at some point, all hell breaks loose and the bullets come cascading down and you've got to dodge them. I don't know how it works. I really love shoot 'em ups. I do not like visual novels, okay? I've tried. I've tried so many times, guys. I've tried. I'm going to try with this one. It's in the backlog. But I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just going to have to suffer through the flippin' visual novel part to get to the shoot 'em up part. But I know that there's a small subset of people out there that love both of those things. They love visual novels. They love shoot 'em ups. And by God, they want to smash them together. And this is the only game that does that. Where else are you going to go, man? This is more than one person's dream game. It has to be. I don't think there's a lot of copies. I don't see it around. I bought the only one I've seen. I don't even know what to think. When I saw this next game, I just knew. You just look at it. When I look at it, I can't see anything other than a price tag on it that's going to be like $350 one day. It's Ikai. It's a freaking walking simulator survival horror puzzle game set in the Japanese Edo period with a heavy Shintoist theme around it. People love survival horror. People romanticize and love Japan. I've never really played any game quite like this. I covered it on a Beating the Backlog video way early on in this channel, and in that video I covered so many games, all of which I thought were more interesting and better than this game. Yet, 80% of the comments were about this freaking game. It just has something about it, visually, conceptually, mechanically, that people really like. Although it's not the greatest game, it's not bad. And for most survival horror collectors, that's good enough. They just cannot get enough survival horror, and as long as it just isn't terrible, that's all they need. This one used to see around a little bit. It was a budget game when it came out. I don't see it anymore. If you see a copy of Ikai, you should definitely grab it. What happens when you make one of the greatest shoot-'em-ups in the last 20 years, try to release it, but have the release delayed by half a decade because of a legal battle between the intellectual property rights between you and the music creator of the game? Well, you get Devil Engine. There's still an ongoing legal dispute with this game. I don't even know how it got released. It looks like it got pushed out in between the verdict of a trial and the appeal of that trial. There may be a chance that this game gets pulled off the shelves if the ruling goes one way or another. Or a version of this game will come out with different music in it. Who knows what's going to happen? Everything is up in the air and you can't predict it. But I do know that the people who are in the know about knowing what you should know, the shoot 'em up experts, the people more inclined to know those things than me, they say this game's great and it's a must-have. And a must-have that you may not be able to get for legal reasons later. It's a recipe for disaster. I grabbed this and imported it from Japan the second it went up for pre-order. I think this got a release from Limited Run Games possibly, but I'm not quite sure. But even then, so many people I know of that like shoot-'em-ups, this game just passed them by. They just missed out on it. Don't let that be you. Don't miss out on it. Go out there and grab a copy of this. If you like arcade games or you like shoot-'em-ups, you have to have Devil Engine. You have to have it. Everybody has to have it. Better get it now before it's too late. I just checked. There are 2 copies of this game up for sale on Amazon. There's a few on eBay, but the stock is already dwindling. This is a budget game. It does not look very good. But when I first saw this, I was drawn to it. I looked at the reviews. It didn't look anything like I was expecting. It's a freaking puzzle first-person shooter? What? It's 41 hours. Have you heard of this game? Tell the truth. Have you actually heard of this game? If you have, put me in the comments and tell me where you heard about it, because I just randomly saw it pop up on Amazon one day. I immediately went and looked up reviews. Could not believe what I was seeing. I had no idea this game existed. I do know that East Asia Soft tends to publish their stuff on PlayAsia. Well, they didn't publish this one on PlayAsia. They published it in the West from GS2 Games. And GS2 Games, they're like the modern working designs if they only put out jank. Every GS2 game I've ever seen, it's just like a low print run. This publisher, I think, just puts out a handful of games. I've never seen this in a store. I've only seen it on Amazon. But it looks so bizarre. I just had to get it. And I know I'm not the only one out there that feels that way. I can't be the only one that feels like this. I know something's off up here. But it's not that off. There are other people out there like me, I think. Are there? Are there people out there like me? Am I all alone? Hello? Hello? You're here, right? You're still here. I hope you are. If you are, please do that for me. Subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, like the video. That's the best way to help me in the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. Let me know if there are any games that I forgot, and I'll catch you guys next time.